What is up, bros? We Josh here. In today's video, we are going over some Henri IV gameplay, the tier 10 French cruiser, and boy howdy is this thing an absolute monster when it comes to dealing damage and a blast to play. This ship has really gained a lot of popularity from the competitive scene and from clan battle scenes as well, so it's a ship that I really haven't played that much, but whenever I do have a good time, and I just wanted to show kind of this monster game that if you let a Henri just do what it wants, it's going to do bad things to the red team. This game was actually a lot of fun. It had been a while since I've actually played this ship, and was trying to get actually some naval battles done for the clan and thought I'd play the French cruiser, and we ended up having a pretty sick game. So in this game, this is the captain build I'm running as well as the modules. So in this video, this is the captain and the modules I used. And yeah, as you can see, I only have a 10-point captain, and that's because that's all this ship really needs. And now what I mean by that is obviously once I get more points on this, I'll pick up probably Concealment Expert, Adrenaline Rush. I picked up one of the premium French captains. I was running a 19-point captain on this, then thought, hey, might as well pick up one of the premium ones in the arsenal for both buffed extra marksmanship as well as buffed Adrenaline Rush. But as I get more points, obviously I'll probably pick up Concealment Expert, Adrenaline Rush, maybe Demo Expert. There's a couple other things maybe I might look at. Obviously, Expert Loader is fantastic for any of these cruisers, but one of the main things and kind of all you really need for the Henri to really be a devilish tier 10 cruiser is inertia fuse. And now I was a late acceptor to the inertia fuse Henri lifestyle. This is something that has made the ship extremely popular both in competitive as well in random battles, and that is how inertia fuse works. So default the Henri, because it has the 240mm shells, one of the biggest for the cruiser at this tier, is those have a base penetration of 39mm, and when you take in the inertia fuse, it gets you above a 50mm threshold of 51mm. Now, what exactly does that mean? Why are those numbers important? Well, there's a couple things that you will start doing consistent damage to, and if you aren't running those, you will actually start noticing it. Now, one of the main things is the armor decks, the fore-end decks of a lot of tier 10 battleships. These would actually shatter if you're running HE, although you could still continue to light fires on them. The 32% you could 32mm you would still be able to do, as you would see like on a lot of other cruisers and a lot of maybe lower tier battleships. You would still see that 32%, the 32mm, which wouldn't really affect it. Obviously you can see here it's all 32. You wouldn't notice anything against a Bourgogne except other stuff like maybe some of these other ones. But what you will notice is on stuff like the Stalingrad, the Moskva, a lot of this which has 50mm deck and 50mm plating. You will continue to get consistent damage against these, and that is what you kind of are aiming for. Again, on the Montana, you won't really notice it too much, but if you switch over to, let's say, again, the Moskva or the Stalingrad, these things are something you want to get that extra inertia fuse for. Yes, you have to give up 4 points for it, but in the end, you will actually get a lot more. One thing that does stay pretty safe is the Yamato. You won't get as much. Obviously, you can with the fore-end plate, so you can get that extra fire. But other stuff like the Moskva, the Musashi, the Yamato, the Kurfürst, a lot of the German ships have that 50mm plating. It really does kind of just open all this up for extra damage, and you will notice it a lot. Now, switching over to just the modules really fast, if we can click on the Henri, not the Conqueror, you can see these are the modules I am using throughout this ship. I want to be pumping out as much as possible, and with the base range of 19.1, I felt like you didn't really need the extra range. I just won't really use it. Obviously AA if you really want to, but the Henri's all about pumping out damage. Obviously concealment. Steering gears, I did pick the AA. I didn't feel like I needed more accuracy, so the AA was kind of nice. And then obviously if you can pick it up, speed boost is fantastic on this ship, getting into those spots. And then main armament mod 1. Let's bounce back to the gameplay and show what this thing can freaking do if you let it do whatever it wants. So with that, the inertia fuse crave of this ship, and I was really a kind of a late acceptor to that, as I said when going over the captain skill, is this, it does make a big impact on your play, and it's something that I highly recommend people picking up. And with how IFHE has basically changed, you have the ability of kind of mixing up some points and really being a true terror, as well as you see we didn't really need BFT or anything like that because we don't really have any CVs to deal with. So it's kind of an old school game. Also, you will see me actually shoot a lot of AP when it comes to this game. I'm still kind of getting used to, this is a ship that I'm actually working on, and what I mean by that is it's a ship that I don't play that often, so I'm really kind of training with the DM, if you say quotations, training with both the DM as well as the Henri. So these are ships that I don't really play too often, so I'm trying to get a tad more practice with these, and so I'm really trying to get a hang of what the AP can do. And of course the AP is insane, but one of the main things is inertia fuse does is it opens up HE to just be able to just obliterate everything. And so you'll see me do a lot of AP shells at first. You'll see me kind of just chill a little bit broadside on some stuff and kind of just not really worry about anything. Now the French cruisers themselves are pretty damn tanky, and they seem to have extremely troll armor. But also this is something I could have done with the Salem. I could have started shooting some HE and really done a lot of damage. Again, this is one of the reasons too I don't feel like you need the range module, and I just want to be pumping out as much as I can. Also, the ability to flex, and one thing I've kind of noticed in high tiers is teams have, and games have been such rolls. And so what I've done actually as a player myself is I've started to roll more in the middle of the map so I can flex back and forth and really try to apply some pressure to one side of the map. And that's one thing that I think I really like with the French cruisers and the French play style is the speed at which they have, and the ability to then pump out damage in a quick succession with the reload consumables, as well as being able to just get to places fast. As you see right here, we have a lot of people over on the A cap and not too much over on the C cap. Well, we have a lot of people on the A cap. They have a lot of people kind of in the middle, and so we have a decent amount of people on the C cap as well. I thought I'd actually rotate over and really try to put on some pressure, because one of the things is the Henry can actually overmatch the Minotaur and just pierce right through the armor. So it's really just kind of a bully to the Minotaur, and you can just do a ton of damage. As you see, it can be Balan, you can still Citadel. One thing though is you are the cruiser, and I actually gave this North Carolina not enough credit, and so I just kind of went broadside. I didn't really care too much, and this Minotaur actually played this fairly decently. I was surprised that he didn't push out. That's what I thought he was going to do. And I'm trying to flush him out because what my DD was saying, he's probably radar. So if he's probably radar, that means he's going to be holding down that cap, and my DD can't get that progress. But what we like to see is some broadside-edness. And there's actually a Citadel, so it's still the cruiser, obviously. French tend to be in the Citadels tend to be in the backside as well. But man, it is, you will see later in this game what this AP can do. But really opening up with the HE is also quite good because of that increase to its armor pen. Again, you can see right here, I'm still kind of getting used to the ship, so I'm shooting a lot more AP. So before I get the Henry pros in the comments, yes, I was just kind of getting used to the ship a tad more. So that's why I'm shooting so much AP. But you'll see me switch up to HE, but then you also see me do a lot of damage with the AP as well. But one of the things I love about the French ships is that reload booster. It's such an insane way to just apply pressure that not really any other line can, and that's something I really do enjoy about this ship, as well as the Jean Bart, the Bourgogne, both the tier 9 and the tier 10 premium ships. And you can even see I don't really mind shooting damage or shooting AP against the battleships, because you can still do so much damage. And that inertia fuse, taking that as a captain, really kind of gives you the ability to be a lot more free and not have to kind of pinpoint. One thing I did notice when I was doing, I kind of did like a before and after with inertia fuse. I'd only been playing with inertia fuse captain for a while now, and before and after, you would definitely, it's very noticeable. It may not seem like a lot, like okay, you're gonna do a bit more damage against these ships. You just have a lot more freedom when it comes to where you aim on a lot of other ships. Now there's an entire list. I can put a link down below to a Reddit post that kind of describes where and what kind of damage you can do to those ships. It's just the freedom to be able to do that damage to those ships and not really have to hit certain parts. And so you'll see me just kind of do a lot of full pens no matter what, and full pens means good damage. Also, here's the reload as well, pumping some damage in against this Hinson Yang if we can take over this. And that's one of the reasons too why I feel like we just don't need the aiming system. I feel like the ship is extremely accurate already. So one thing I did take was the extra AA, and he got a weird little angle. We will keep pumping it in. Reload consumable, wonderful. And again, of course, we're going to absolutely smash that. And if we can see these cruisers, again, we're just going to keep pushing in. One of the things that this ship can do is, because it has those 240mm shells, is the AP on broadside battleships is out of this world good. It's so good. I can't express how good it is, actually. And you will see, again, We're going to teach the Musashi that's on ACAP right now in a little bit exactly how good they are. So again, Minotaur, I'm trying to figure out which ship here is radaring what. He ends up turning in, but we have a nice little broadside. And again, it doesn't really matter where we shoot because we're going to just do a ton of damage. Salem pushing in though. I figured he probably popped radar, is popping radar second. So I'm trying to keep our Shimo alive, and nice little 14k salvo takes him out. And the Minotaur is continuing to push in. Again, we don't really care what angle he's at. As long as they're on target, they're going to do good damage because of their pen. There we go. Actually, over pens, full pens, Citadel, nice 15k salvo. And, I mean, kind of with anything, completely broadside, Minotaur will just get absolutely blopped. So there we go. 8 Citadels in a matter of just a couple seconds. I guess 7. I guess we had 1 early. And trying to figure out where to go next. Our Shima unluckily gets kind of ambushed by the St. Louis, and we are going to show St. Louis, the big brother, picking on the little brother right here, the Henry. Of course, the St. Louis is extremely good too. I've actually really enjoyed the French line. I remember when it was ranked Sprint was tier 6. I actually played the Glass, the tier 6 French cruiser. I actually really enjoyed the ship, and one of the reasons why is that the reload consumable is so nice. Again, this ship is just an absolute monster. 9 minutes in at 120 damage, 120k damage already. I'm really looking for spots to push at this point. We have the Cyclone. We have a lot of battleships that are on the other side of the map, so I don't really have to worry about that. And not only is this ship have firepower like a freaking nuclear missile, it seems like, it also has the ability to tank a decent amount. Its armor is pretty solid, and overall, just it's a blast to play. So we're gonna go HE. That means I'll go HE, and we're gonna win that pen value, no problem. He's rocking his 203s. We have the 240s, and we're probably right around the same reload time, honestly. And switching back to the AP because I see him kind of turning in. We are down caps though, but this is a ship that puts you at ease of being able to get from one side to the other. Rocking, I think with speed boost, if you keep going over 40 knots, something like that, it's absolutely insane, especially if you're running those flags. So again, trying to push this, the Ibuki is there, and so right now I'm thinking of where to go and to start getting some frags. We're up big on kills, but we're down big on points as well as caps. So we are starting to get B cap back, but we need to save that Shimakaze because we know he's super low. And if we can get this St. Louis, we'll do that. But the rest of this game is just this going absolutely beast mode. St. Louis goes down. We will get B cap back then. As long as that Alaska doesn't push in and radar him and kill him will be kind of good. But trying to figure out, one, I don't want to get spotted and torped by the Grozavoy. That would be bad. Don't want to give up too much broadside to the Musashi. That'd also be bad. But one thing I'm looking for that the Musashi and the Yamato both have, as you see, I have my AP loaded, 240 millimeter pen, is that cheek that the Musashi has. So kind of throwing out some YOLO torps, thinking about where to put those, going off of the radar as well. And I know that Alaska wasn't too healthy. So I figured my Ibuki could probably kill it off himself. Again, too, trying to figure out where the Musashi is, because obviously we end up being a little questionable. It was a little scary here, but his turrets weren't on me, so I know that if I just keep going forward, then I don't really have to worry about him. Again, we're going against the broadside Alaska, and the broadside Alaska tends to not have Citadel, but we can get full pen damage. And what I'm trying to do is, whenever you can, pick on a battleship. Musashi, Montana, Iowa, North Carolina, does not matter. You will go in and do bad things. So we're going to watch how many Citadels we can get. There's the DD as well. And again, he's going to keep doing some damage. Yeah, it's the kill right there. We have 2 kills, 10 Citadels, 2 fires, so a good mix. And I'm trying to figure out where this Musashi went. And there's the Musashi right there. And we're going to do the little jiggle peek on the map to see where the guns are. And we see that the guns aren't on me. He is so slow. His turrets are so slow. And this is one reason why I like the expert marksmanship, the bonus as well. That's why I really highly recommend the French captain. They are perfect for the cruisers. They're also perfect for the battleships as well. Expert marksman as well as adrenaline rush are both fantastic. And we have one last reload consumable. And let's make it happen. So we end up firing just a tad behind on this first one. And maybe a tad high. And I'm like, come on now. There's the reload consumable. Let's line it up. We're not even worried about the destroyer. And let's make it happen here. Again, we got robbed. I was like, what the heck? Am I just gonna shoot at this DD? I was like, I can't. We gotta do a highlight right here. And there it is. Nice little baby 44k salvo. 7 citadels on the broadside Musashi. And there we go. So a nice little 10 citadels in what? 12 seconds? Something like that. You know, no big deal, right? That's fine. But how to make a Musashi disappear in honestly, if we would have got the kill, it probably would have been a dub strike. But we'll take high caliber confed, 3 kills, 217,000 damage, 20 citadels. Again, we shot probably a little bit more AP than we really needed to this game. We could have probably got a little bit more damage if we shot the HE in certain situations, and the rest of the team is going to kill him out and get a double strike. So there we go. But yeah, how to make a Musashi disappear in what, 10-15 seconds? No big deal. So we actually got robbed, I think, on the first 2 salvos, but it was cooler to get 10 citadels, a 44k salvo on them, and there we go, 217, 3 kills, 20 citadels, Confederate high cal. This thing is an absolute monster. Again, top of the team on the XP. I'm interested in what you guys have to think about the Henry. Do you enjoy it? I have the legendary module. I haven't really been using it that much. I'm just kind of sticking with the normal build as I'm leveling up that captain as well. I'm interested in what you guys think about the Henry. Do you enjoy it? Do you think this is a topic too? Do you think it needs a nerf? I know it's not a good thing to balance around King of the Seas or any of the competitive modes, but it is definitely a monster to deal with and really doesn't seem to show a weakness. Compared to a lot of other cruisers, especially with that inertia fuse. I know one of the things that makes this thing so strong is how inertia fuse works. But I'm interested in what you guys think. I really enjoy the ship. I think it's in a pretty good spot right now. I do maybe think it could use a small tweak, as could a couple other ships in the high tiers. But I'm interested in what you guys have to think about it. Or do you think it just mainly has to deal with the inertia fuse skill that makes this? Would the Henry be as feared if it didn't reach that 51mm threshold and could really kind of just pen anything it wants with its HE? Is that maybe causing the problem? But anyways, overall a fun ship. I highly recommend this line. It is definitely worth grinding. I think the French lines in general, both the cruisers and the battleships, are some of the most fun to play in this game right now. They're just fun, goofy. They're good to flex, especially if you want to get a good carry game. As you can see, top of the team, and a bunch of damage. Sorry, baby Musashi. That we had to do that because it was cool to do it on stream and cool for a video. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.